Ah, good old Utah. Nothing like wide open nature and religious fanaticism to really put things into perspective.
Yeah, Donald. Being here almost makes me forget about that horrible shit we just saw at that bitch Kamala's farm.
It wasn't a farm, it was a plant.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Is there anything we should know before approaching Mitt, George?
Not really. Mitt's a pretty mellow guy, so as long as we're not confrontational with him, he should be fine.
Oh, so he's a typical white Republican male then? Spineless and cowardly, this'll be easy.
Donald, please. You have to trust me on this and try your best not to stir up any shit. That means no making fun of Mormonism, Joseph Smith, or any of his dozens of wives. You can make a few jabs here and there, but never go full roast mode on him.
I got it, George. Just lead the way.
Hey, Mitt.
Hey, fellas, long time no see. What brings you all out to Utah?
We heard you got a battery from Kamala for some steel and lumber. Well, that battery was stolen by Hillary from Elon, and we need to return it to him.
Geez. Just goes to show you how much you can't trust these no-good, rotten Democrat women, eh, George? Well, as much as I'd like to give it to you, I can't do that right now. I'm using it for an extremely important life or death situation right now.
What kind of life or death situation?
I'd rather not say.
Come on, Mitt. We're cool with each other. We're not going to hold anything against you. Speak your mind.
Fine, George. I'm using the battery to power an incubator for my son.
Oh, no. Is something wrong with his health?
His health's fine, George. It's just that he needs to be kept unconscious for a bit until I can figure out what to do with him.
What to do with him? Jesus Christ, Mitt, what the hell are you talking about?
It's an illegitimate child, Barack. I have to keep this a secret from everybody.
Why didn't you just get an abortion if you can't deal with a kid?
Don't you dare suggest such a wicked thing ever again, Donald.
I'm Mormon, Donald. You know my faith doesn't allow abortions.
Then why the fuck did you impregnate a woman in the first place, Mitt?
You know why, Donald? You know why?
I guess I do.
And fellas, it wasn't a woman I impregnated.
Holy shit, Mitt. I always knew you were a closeted homosexual.
Donald, chill.
That's okay, George. I'm not gay, Donald. I can assure you I'm not one to damn myself to an eternity in hell for some sissy, AIDS-ridden penis. No, I impregnated a female chupacabra.
Jesus Christ.
How the fuck would that even work? Aren't they furry, dog-like creatures?
No, they're actually scaly, more like reptilians.
Gee, Mitt, you think you can acquire a chupacabra egg for your old friend Joe?
You know, you Mormons are some seriously fucked up people. But what else could I expect of a people who believe their Messiah found the words of God inside a stupid fucking hat?
Well, at least now you know my predicament.
Before we move on, I just want to know how and where the fuck you found a chupacabra.
In Mexico. Where else, dumbass?
Why the fuck were you hunting for chupacabras in Mexico?
You know, Mormons like to go down to Mexico every now and again to practice polygamy. And I didn't go hunting for the chupacabra, Barack. We just sort of ran into each other on a busy street in Mexico City. We got some drinks, had some tacos, talked a bit, and the next thing you know, I'm in bed with a smoking hot dime piece of a chupacabra. And the thought of whether I should make her one of my wives is running through my mind. Of course, that'd be ridiculous to fall in love with a one-time fling. And Mormons, especially my family, wouldn't take too kindly to me bringing home a woman from another race.
Mitt, it's an entirely different species.
Love knows no boundaries, Barack.
Hear, hear.
One day I'm just minding my own business and I get a telegram from the fair lady telling me she's given birth to our son. Now, at the time, Mexico City was more dangerous than usual because a bunch of cartels were running around hunting for chupacabras in order to eat their pineal glands, to have visions of their ancient ancestors, to ask them how to become the strongest mutilators, decapitators, and rapists in the streets. She didn't want our child growing up in such a lawless town and such a vicious culture, so she had him sent to me, and I've been taking care of him ever since, careful so as not to be discovered by any of my wives or children.
It must be hard, Mitt, being a single father.
Let me tell you, boys, taking care of a chupacabra isn't easy. They grow twice as fast and twice as big as a normal human. You can understand why I need the battery to power the incubator.
Why don't you let it out?
And have that confused mixed-race mongrel run rampant through Salt Lake City while it wrestles with its identity? No, thank you, George. I have plenty of problems as is. No need to risk my wives finding out about this.
Why don't you just kill it?
I swear to God, Donald, I'll rip that toupee off your head and stab you like I did Julius back in Rome if you keep talking about doing horrible things to children. Mitt, I'll gladly take that child off your hands.
Not happening, Joe.
Ah, fiddlesticks.
Why don't you show us your setup? Maybe seeing him will give us some ideas as to what we can do.
You mean you'll help me, George?
Not just me, but all of us, Mitt. Other than helping you out, we really do need that battery.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to show little Joseph to you guys.
You named him Joseph? Hopefully not after this fossil over here.
No, Donald, I named him after our great prophet, the founder of Mormonism, Joseph Smith.
Joe, he named him after you.
Enough talk. Let's see the precious child.
Jesus, Mitt, where the hell are you taking us?
To a hidden chamber, Donald. I can't have the whole town knowing about my little secret.
Wait, I smell something. There were children down here, yeah. 5 young boys aged 8 to 13. 3 of them white, 1 Guatemalan, 1 black.
That must have been the bishops. It's a bit early for sodomy, but I suppose they had to have their urges fulfilled if they were going to give an hour-long sermon. Come on, boys, this way.
Holy shit, look at that monstrosity.
Cool it with the remarks, Donald. That thing is still my son.
Hey, Mitt, can I sniff it?
No, Joe, you keep your grubby little hands away from him.
I didn't realize it would be so big.
That's what she said.
How the hell did you even get it in stasis in the first place, Mitt?
Some ugly, messy business, Barack. I'd rather not talk about it.
Oh, come on, Mitt. We're your pals.
I had to feed the little bastard until it fell asleep, seeing as he was tearing up the storage unit I was keeping him in. I called up a bunch of cleaning ladies and had them enter the storage unit, and Junior made quick work of them all.
Jesus Christ, Mitt. You killed poor innocent maids just so you could put your kid to sleep?
Don't worry, Donald. They were Mexicans, and knowing Mexicans, they were probably Catholic.
Oh, never mind then. Well, Mitt, obviously you aren't going to keep this thing in stasis forever.
With this battery, I can do that.
That's no way for a little chupacabra to spend his childhood. He should be free, out in the open land with his own kind.
But I am his kind, George.
Come on, Mitt. As much as you want to protect your son, you know he's more chupacabra than human.
He's got a point, Mitt. It's in his nature to want to be with his kind and contribute to his own community. Trust me, as a mixed-race individual myself, I know exactly how that kid is going to turn out if he's kept locked up in stasis.
Maybe you're right, guys. Maybe it's time I did what's best for the little tyke.
Good on you, Mitt. It takes a real man to own up and admit his mistakes.
What are you going to do now?
There's actually a chupacabra hovel not so far from Salt Lake City. They crossed the border back in 2016, and they've since made a thriving community of their own. Maybe we could ask them to take him in.
See what I've been saying? I told you we need a fucking border wall.
A border wall won't do smack. These guys dug their way here. And good luck sending ice down to winding tunnels to catch them. These guys are here to stay. I think perhaps they'd be willing to take Joseph.
You mean you've never approached them before?
They're chupacabras living in the wild, Barack. They'd tear me apart in a heartbeat.
And what about our presence makes you so confident they wouldn't tear you apart?
Chupacabras are very picky with their food, Barack. They specifically avoid eating Jews, Muslims, and the elderly, the latter of which they believe their deteriorating bodies will spoil their stomachs. Joe, you catching on to what I'm saying?
What? Oh, hey, Mitt, long time no see.
For fuck's sake.
Don't worry, Barack, I got this. Hey, Joe, want to see some chupacabra kids?
I've been asking to see some this whole time. Now you say I can?
Yeah, a whole nest of them, naked and bundled together for easy snatching.
Say no more, Jack. Just point me in the right direction and tell me what to do.
Jesus Christ, this place is more desolate than Hillary's pussy.
And it's just as deadly, believe me, Donald.
Joe, you remember your lines?
We would very respectfully appreciate a chance to speak to your leaders with a proposition that would benefit the hovel.
Very good. You're not going to forget your line now, are you, Joe?
If kids are on the line, I'll memorize the whole goddamn Bible if I have to.
Very good. Go on.
Guys, I think we made a terrible mistake. We sent him into a hovel full of ravenous wild chupacabras.
He'll be fine, Barack. Trust me, they can't stand the elderly.
My only concern is that he goes straight for the children instead of relaying the message.
Be patient, boys. That's all that we can do.
Look, there he is.
The council has granted us an audience.
The council? You mean these creatures are advanced enough to form a system of governance?
They're chupacabras, Barack, not Africans. Of course, they have a perfectly stable, functioning government, free of constant military coups and blatant corruption. What, are you going to tell me that you didn't know they had welfare and social security?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, boys, here goes nothing.
Jesus Christ, Mitt, you're telling me you fucked one of these things?
You weren't there that day, Donald, though I have to admit it was the tequila that gave me the courage to jump into her scaly snatch.
Holy shit.
Bienvenidos, ancianos viajeros, a nuestra humilde choza.
What the fuck? Why the fuck are the chupacabras speaking Mexican?
It's not Mexican, Donald, it's Spanish. Hola, honorable consejo, mi nombre es Barack.
Soy Jorge.
Has venido con este sodomizador Mormon?
See.
What the fuck? Am I the only one who doesn't know how to speak this goofy language?
Maybe if you paid attention in class instead of goofing off and chasing women, you would have learned a thing or two.
I knew from the moment I was a child that I was destined to become a billionaire, not a cleaner or a maid. Why the hell would I learn Mexican?
¿Pretendes traer a este mestizo a nuestra choza?
Sí, honorable concejal. Es mi hijo, un niño que engendre con una señora chupacabras en la Ciudad de México. El niño está bajo mi cuidado, pero no puedo garantizar su seguridad entre los humanos.
¿Y qué te hace pensar que la aceptaremos?
Él es uno de tu clase. Supongo que te preocuparías por los de tu misma especie.
Porque tú, un ser humano, pensarías de esa manera cuando tu especie se mata, viola y destruye con tanta sana a diario.
Por favor, sabio consejo, debes darte cuenta de que no puedes juzgar a toda la humanidad por las acciones de unos pocos. Desafortunadamente, no todos los humanos han sido introducidos a los principios pacíficos del mormonismo todavía.
Holy shit, I swear to God I feel like Joe right now. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck are these ugly fucking monsters saying?
El naranja no conoce el miedo.
Perdónalo, sabio consejo, porque es un gilipollas.
What the fuck did you just say about me? I may not understand Mexican, but I know a diss when I hear one.
Durante siglos hemos sobrevivido a los humanos y sus formas imprudentes escondiéndonos bajo tierra en nuestras chozas. Donde los humanos rara vez habitan, la presencia del niño pondría en peligro nuestra sociedad. Él no puede quedarse.
Por favor, honorable consejo, debe darse cuenta de que no me quedan opciones. Si me llevo al niño conmigo, estoy seguro de que los humanos lo perseguirán y lo matarán.
Ese no es problema del chupacabra, sino humano. Lo siento, él no puede quedarse.
Listen here, you overgrown salamanders. You're lucky we humans haven't started to dig tunnels in this shithole you call home, because we can seriously fuck you up worse than we did those anime lovers back in World War II. You know who Elon Musk is? Of course you don't, you retarded giant geckos. He's a billionaire and he has a company whose sole purpose is to dig massive tunnels. You hear that? Entire fleets of diamond-tipped drills the size of my dick.
¿No sabe esta hemorroide naranja que podemos matarla en un instante?
Parece que ha confundido su ignorancia con coraje.
Por favor, no tome sus palabras en serio. Sabio consejo. Si hay algo que podamos hacer para ganar su favor para que el chico pueda unirse a su choza, lo haremos.
Tal vez podamos permitir que el niño entre en nuestra casucha a cambio del naranja. Tengo curiosidad por saber cómo sabría una bola de ignorancia tan orgullosa.
No, sabio consejo, por favor, solo olvida que él está incluso aquí.
¿Qué pasa con ese pequeño problema, con la situación alimentaria?
¿O eso?
Bueno, vamos a aceptar al niño de todos modos. Mientras tanto, también podríamos hacer uso de estos idiotas. Tengo muchas ganas de comerme el de naranja.
Tranquilo, José, este es un buen negocio. Es posible que nunca más tengamos que preocuparnos por la comida.
Bien, la comida es calmense, voy a hablar con ellos.
Aceptaremos al niño si solucionas un problema nuestro.
Nómbralo y veremos qué podemos hacer.
Para que los chupacabras obtengamos comida, debemos dejar la seguridad de nuestra choza para cazar humanos callejeros y compartirlos con nuestras familias. Al ver cuán remotamente estamos ubicados y cuán pocos humanos caminan sobre la tierra sobre nosotros, a menudo nos falta comida. Le pedimos que nos encuentre una fuente de alimento consistente para que no tengamos que aventurarnos a la superficie.
What the fuck are those deformed dinosaurs saying?
He's saying we need to find them a reliable food source in order for them to accept the child.
An acceptable food source? Disculpe, sabio consejo, pero los humanos son lo único que comen.
A veces comemos judíos, pero los consideramos un manjar.
You got any idea where we can get a steady stream of unsuspecting bodies, Mitt?
I don't know, George. I'll have to think about this one for a bit.
What the fuck do you mean you'll need to think? How come I always have to step in and get the idea ball rolling? Quick, who are the most hated, disposable, and useless people in Utah?
I'd say they'd have to be the apostates, Donald.
Apostates, like apostates from the Church of Latter-day Saints?
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing Mormons hate more other than Scientologists, of course.
Why Scientologists?
Well, Barack, have you ever met a people with a more backwards religion? I mean, an extraterrestrial ruler of a galactic confederacy? Come on now. It's obvious that that entire religion is nothing more than a money laundering cult.
Focus, Mitt. What do you Mormons do with your apostates?
Well, we either try to bring them back into the church by sending them to a disciplinary council, or if they're too far gone, we excommunicate them and cast them into outer darkness, as they have chosen to walk a path of eternal damnation from which they cannot be saved.
Geez, Mitt, a little harsh, isn't it?
Apostates are traitors to the church, George. He is a traitor who has deceived his best friends, betrayed his trust, and forfeited every principle of honor that God has placed with him.
Okay, so you hate them. Great. Why not send the apostates to the hovel as food for these reptiles?
And how do you suppose we do that? How would we even justify such an action in the eyes of the church?
Simple. Just have the church tell all Mormons never to come to this part of Utah because it's cursed or some shit. Anyone who comes here will be defying the church, therefore making themselves apostates. And the chupacabras will snatch them, and no one will be missed. Would that work in the logic of your little wacky cult?
I suppose so. By Joseph Smith, I see no flaw in that logic.
Donald, you're a genius.
I gotta hand it to you, Donald. That was pretty sharp.
Art of the deal, Barack. Have you read it?
I suppose we can get that plan in motion. Honorable Consejo, regresaremos una vez que hayamos completado nuestra misión.
Ve y completa tu tarea. Esperaremos tu regreso.
All right, guys, sit back and watch as I flex my righteousness. Look out the window. Do you see all the apostates crawling around this hallowed city?
Mitt, I don't know if we can get any of these people to go to the hovel. They all look like normal, practicing Mormons.
Don't let appearances fool you, Barack. Gays, lesbians, transgenders, and apostates all alike walk among us each and every day, even in the holiest of cities. But they'll duly reveal themselves once we ask them for their opinion on that wicked devil RuPaul and its cohort of lesser demons.
You know, RuPaul once dressed as me for one of his shows.
Of course he did.
Stay put, boys. I'll wrangle these apostates faster than Joe can change a diaper. Hey, you. Hello there. How are you doing?
I'm fine. What do you want?
What do you think about that god-awful president of hell, RuPaul?
What? What the fuck did you just say about the Queen of Drag?
Don't you think drags are an abomination to the human race? I mean, you have men who dress as women in gaudy fashion, I might add. They might call it fabulous, but I call it trashy.
What the fuck? Who are you to judge them, you white male fuck?
I'm Mormon, and my church does not condone sodomy between full-grown men.
I'll have you know that I've taken over a dozen dicks in my ass on 3 different occasions. Does that make me a wicked demon in your eyes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, these people definitely need to be killed.
I told you, Donald, there's nothing worse in this world than apostates.
Honestly, Mitt, they just seem like normal liberals to me.
What's the difference?
Quick, Mitt, tell him about the cursed land before you lose him.
If you really want to defy the church, you should go to these coordinates. The church has strictly forbidden any true Mormon from visiting that site.
Ooh, and what crazy superstition has the church prescribed to this location?
It's haunted, and there's a portal to hell there where every atheist goes to die.
Fucking hell. Looks like that's the place for me.
Safe travels, you dirty fucking apostate.
Fuck you.
Mission accomplished, Mitt.
Yeah, man, good work. Let's send maybe 5 of them to the site so the chupacabras know what's up.
I'm already on it, Donald. I see a flock of homosexuals right over there. Hey, boys, how would you like to really stick it to the Church of LDS?
We'd do anything to stick it to those homophobic prudes.
Well, you're in luck. There's a massive glory hole out in these coordinates, and if you click your heels and call for Daddy, you'll find the biggest black cock waiting for you.
Fuck yeah, let's go, boys.
Fucking sickos.
All right, Mitt, are we good?
You bet we are, Donald. Let's get little Joseph and start heading back to the hovel.
Don't worry, little fella. Soon you'll be with your own kind, and you'll find peace you never thought possible.
Bienvenidos de nuevo, viajeros. Vemos que ha tenido éxito en su tarea. Hemos recibido a más de 1 docena de humanos esta noche, aunque no saben cómo los que hemos estado comiendo.
¿Cómo es eso?
Tienen un sabor de lo más desconcertante, de odio y autocompasión, pero también de inconfundible fabulosidad. Y algunas de las hembras tenían penes y algunos de los machos tenían vaginas. Nunca hemos visto tales aberraciones.
Ah, bueno, así es como son todos los días. Supongo que su confusión emocional se traduce en gusto.
Ha cumplido con su parte del trato y por eso aceptaremos a su hijo bajo nuestro cuidado.
Gracias, sabio consejo. Well, boys, I guess our work here is done thanks to you.
We didn't do that much to help, Mitt.
No, guys, you did. I didn't have the courage to approach these chupacabras and settle this matter on my own, but having you guys at my side was really all I needed to get it done. Here's the battery.
Thanks, Mitt.
Fucking sweet.
3 down, 1 to go.
Where are you guys headed for the last one?
Out to Sacramento or maybe even San Francisco now that I think about it. Gavin has the last one.
Ooh, you're going to meet that fruitcake? You might want to get your keister sewn shut for that one, fellas. I've had guys go to San Francisco to try to convert some of those heathens to Mormonism, only for those once good, clean boys to return pumped full of estrogen with their penises chopped off. They're trying to do that to kids now, too, you know.
What evil abominations lurk in that accursed city, ruining perfectly good children and giving them deformed, mutilated, unnatural genitalia. All I smell from those types of kids is loathing, confusion, and self-hatred.
Crazy times we're living in, Joe. I mean, for goodness sake, you can't even tell if the boy you're sodomizing is an actual boy.
It makes me sick to watch parents abuse children like that.
Don't worry, boys. I grew up in Manhattan, and I've dealt with my fair share of abominations. Anytime any one of them tried to bed me, I held them off. Though if we run into trouble, I'm sure Barack could put his gay expertise to good use.
Donald, why?
Well, boys, if you ever find yourselves in Utah again, feel free to stop by and say hello.
Will do, Mitt, will do.